guys, welcome to Coding Techniques. I'm back with another off-screen design, which you have already seen in my intro. So let's quickly build that up. I've already created a new project, and if you want to create a new project, how to do it, if you want to know how to set up a new Ionic project, you can click on the I button which will be popping up in here, and you can learn how to set up Ionic project from that particular video. So I've already created a new project, and let's work on that now. I'll inspect it up to make it a mobile view. This is the inspect. You can dock it however you like. Okay, I'll minimize it up and make it smaller. Let's try different type of. This is my code, and it's perfectly set up. Now whatever changes we make out here, we can see properly, right? So out in here, I'll empty all the code from here because I don't need a header. I will just work with the ion content. So let me remove this ion header and everything from my ion content. I'll clean up everything, okay, and from my SCSS also I'll clean up everything. Now let's speed code a bit. So within this I'll have a div. Let's give it a class of circle base, and let me create another div which is also the same class. Similarly one more. So what am I trying to build? I'm trying to build up this screen, these circles. First of all, 3 circles which you can see up in here. Let's quickly do that. So let me work with the SCSS now. Border radius 50%. Now let's give a background to that, otherwise you won't be able to see it up. What is the actual design, right? So let me give it a type 2. Let me define another class called type 2 and then type 1 up in here, because this will be the bigger circle, the middle one, and the other 2 will be the smaller circle. I'll give type 2 up in here. So let's work on that now. Type 1, that is how we call a class. Position, relative, width, let's say 280 pixel. Height will be 280 pixel also, it's the same height, right? I'll fix it up so that it won't change when our screen size is changing. Let me give it a background first so that we can see the design. It will be a linear gradient, 90 degree. Colors gonna be 2A58, A8, and this will be 0%. It's gonna be hash, not at the rate. The next color will be hash 2201A3, and this will be 100%. My autosave is on, as you can see up here. Let me give it a box shadow 0px, 1 pixel, 10 pixel, and let's give it color RGBA 98, 140, 255, and opacity of 0.5. And let's position it up so that we can see we are getting something up in here or not. Minus 50 pixel left, minus 50 pixel. Oh sorry, I made a mistake. This will be circle base, that is why I'm not able to see the design. And this will be type 1. Now as you can see, the design is coming up, right? Almost similar to this one, right? Great. Let's build up these 2 circles also quickly. So I've given type 2 class to that. Let's work on that now. The width will be 100 pixel, height will also be 100 pixels, and this will be type 2. Background, I need a black background, so let me give the dark color to that, and you already used it up. I'll simply use var --ion color dark, which is predefined in themes variable.sts. Okay, let's check it out now. Now you can see the 2 circles which are showing up in here, right? Great. The color dark one is not good. Let me give it another color as 000. This will be more darker. Yes, I feel so. Yes, this is more darker. Okay, so I'll use this color instead of the dark one. Okay, great. Now, what is the next step? Let's align these 2 things in a proper manner. So for that, I'll use another class. Let me say circle 1 and circle 2. Fine. So what will happen up in there now? Let's work with the SCSS now, and in here I'll first work with my circle 1. So in circle 1, I need to align this one up in here. So let's do it. Margin left 180 pixel. I think that will be good. Margin top will be 50 pixels. I think that will be proper. Now as you can see that this circle is also moving up because I have given a position of relative, and it will be absolute, and it won't be moved. Now it's great, right? And this is properly set up as you can see in the picture, right? Now let's work on this one. So I've given a class of .circle 2, and within that, what am I going to do? Let me first position it up to absolute, because it will be appearing at the top of the circle 1. Sorry, the bigger circle, right? It should appear at the top of the bigger circle. Then let me position it up to top of say 150 pixel will be nice. Let's check it out. Yeah, this is good. And let's make it a little bit up to the left side so that it can come up in here a bit. Left to be minus 20 pixels. When you come to the left side, great. So this is the design which we are going to build, right? So we have successfully implemented this design. Let's work with this one now. After these circles, I'll simply have an iron label. Now within that iron label, I will have an iron text, the color of which will be light, and the message will be welcome back and a comma. Then I will have another iron text, the same color for the time being, and within that I will have a p tag which will read log in with an exclamation sign. Now you won't be able to see the color if I turn it into black or dark. You might be able to see the design where it is showing up. It might be appearing at the back of it, so I won't be able to see it up nicely now. If I comment this thing up, I'll be able to see it. As you can see, it is showing up in here. If our circles are not commented, then it will overlap the text. Okay, and you can see the light color also up in here. Let's work on that quickly now. So in order to align properly, I will have a class up in here. Let's give it welcome message, and let's work on that now. The position is going to be absolute. Top, let's say 70 pixel will be nice. Left, I want it to be 50 pixels. The spelling is wrong, it will be welcome message. Now you can see the text is showing up, right? But it is not as same as this because the font size is different, right? Let's work on it now. So out in here, I know I have p tag. Within my p tag, let me give it a font weight of gold. Then let's change the font size also to be 1.8 rem will be good. Much bigger, and a margin top I need which is of 5 pixels, little bit, not much. Let's check the design now. Great, showing up nicely and much better now. Okay, that's very nice. Even you can change this color. This is lighter and this is little whiter. So let's do that also. So in order to do that, what I have to do, let's go to our Ionic docs, go to colors, scroll down, and in here I'll add a new color called white. That will be FFF. Copy it up, open your project, go to the variable.scss, inside our theme folder, and at the last up in here, I'll simply call it white color and paste it up. Last thing, we need to implement this class to work with it in our code. So I have to do it up in here, and that's it. The setup is done for the white color. Now let's go to our code. In here, instead of light, I will pass white. Now you can see the color is reflecting nicely in white color, right? Great. Let's move ahead. Now, what is the next step which we need to work on is this form. Let's quickly do that too. So I'll define a form up in here, and this will be a form group. Now in here, I'll define a form which will be of type form group. Now let's import this form group from an Angular forms. And this is a reactive form. So in our module, let's go to our home module. Out in here you can see forms module is imported, but we are using reactive forms out in there. So I'll change it to reactive forms. Otherwise it will give me an error when I'm using form group in my HTML. So it will also be imported from Angular forms. Now you can see all the errors are gone. Great. Let's work with our form now. Let's design it up quickly. Within our form, I'll have an iron list, and in the iron list the lines will be none. I don't need any line. Within our iron list, I'll have an iron item. Now within my iron item, I'll have an iron icon. The name will be mail outline. The slot will be end, and the color will be medium, which is predefined. Okay. Then I will also have an iron input, and I'll pass form control up in here. Form control name. This is the property when we are using form group, and it will be mail. Then I'll pass a placeholder that will be enter email address. Let's align it properly. Now you can see it is showing up in here but not aligned in a proper manner. We'll do that. Let's first complete up our form first. Okay, so I'll copy this iron item and paste it once again. Now what am I going to change up in here? First of all, the iron icon, it will be lock, close, outline. Slot start and medium color. That's fine. Now out in here it will be password, and the placeholder will read enter password. For the first letter. Fine, great. Let's check out the design now. Okay, it's coming up. Great. Let's have some margin between those things. So what I'm going to do to just have some margin and padding between the two iron items. First of all, to my iron item, I'll pass a class called iron margin vertical. To my iron list also, I'll pass a class ion margin and ion text center so that everything will be aligned at the center. I'll have the same class of ion item to the other ion item, and then it will look nice. As you can see, things are changing, right? Let's give some padding also and see what is the result. Now this is nice. Okay, so let's align this properly up in here. Let's quickly do that. Let's go to our SCSS, and in here I will work with my ion list. The first thing which I'm going to do is make the background of ion list to be transparent. Okay, now you can see that it is getting transparent. I can see the black circle up in here. Okay, that's great. Now let me transform it in the y-axis, say 20 VH. It will come down up in here. Nice. Now let's work on the ion item that is available within our ion list only. So out here, what am I going to do? Let me give it a border radius of 10 pixels, but you will not see the difference out in here because I have to give the border first because everything is in white color. So let me give it a border of 1 pixel solid and the color will be medium. So how can I pass this color from my variable or SCSS? I've already shown you up. Color medium. Let's see what is the design now. So this looks great, right? Almost matching with our design, isn't it? Great. Let's work on it with it. This is properly set up. Now we need to work on this part. Let's quickly do that. For that, what am I going to do? Within my ion list, I'll have an ion row. Pass a class. So I will need some margin at the top and bottom. Ion margin vertical. In here, I'll have an ion column, and let me give it a size of 6. Let me copy it one more time because I need 2 columns. And the first column, I'll have a div, and the alignment of the div will be on the left side. Now within this div, I will have a checkbox and an ion note. Text will be remember me. On the second ion column, I'll have another div. Now this will be placed in the right side, and within that I'll just have an ion note that's going to read forgot password. As you can see, this is showing up nicely, right? You need to align this in proper manner, in one line, right? Horizontally aligned properly. So in order to work on that, what am I going to do? Let me have a class up in here which is called align items. Let's work on it in our SPSS. Now in here, now this class is also available within our ion list. I don't want it to be implemented anywhere else. So some ion items. Within our ion items, I will have my checkbox and my ion node. Both will be displayed in line block, and I'll align it vertically in the middle. Now as you can see, it is aligned properly, right? I need a little margin between the two. So what am I going to do? Ion checkbox, margin right, 1 BW, and it also has predefined property of size, which I will change it to 1.1 REM. I'm trying to make it a little small, right? Okay, I made a mistake. This needs to be done outside of this. Now it is showing up properly, right? It's great. It's almost clean, right? I'm happy with this. Now the next thing which we need to work with this button and the last part. Fine, let's quickly do that. Also, after my iron row, I'll have an iron button. Color will be primary, shift will be round, and the text will be logged in. Now I'll also pass p tag. Now within my p tag, I'll have an iron node. Let's see the design first. Now, as you can check out in here, the color is not the one which I need, okay? Because this is showing the primary color, and the primary color which I have up here is this one. But I need to pass a different color, right? The one which I've defined up in here. So I'll use this color. So in order to use that up, and I'll copy up this color and generate a new color. I'll call it primary. I've got all the things related to this primary color, and simply copy it up. Open my code, go to the variable.scss, and simply replace this directly, and it will work nicely now. Let's check this out now. I think the color will be proper. Great, showing up, right? Exactly the one that I need. Oh, nice. Now the next thing which I need to work on with our p tag. Now out here I'll pass not a member yet. Then within my iron node, what am I going to do? In here I'll pass the iron text. And what this iron text gonna read? Sign up, and the color will be primary. Let's align it properly. That's great. It is showing up now. You can see up in here, right? It's the same thing, isn't it? That's nice. Now let's design it a bit so that we can have the final touching, which is done up in here in our SCSS. So what am I going to do? Let me first define a class up in here which is called signup. And within that I need a margin top of 5 VH and the font size to be 0.8 REM. Okay, as you can see, we have a little more margin, right? I need to work around a bit with my font size of my iron column, iron nodes, right? Let's work on that also. So what am I going to do? Iron call, iron note, and let's change the font size to be 0.8 85 rem. As you can see, it is a little bigger, right? That's good. So this whole thing is a little bigger. Great. And let's move it within our iron list only. I think that will be good. And we won't see any change, right? That's great. Nothing is changed and we have successfully designed this part. Okay. Now in here, I need to apply some design to my button and even my iron row also. I need little margin out in here. Okay. Because as you can see out here, there is a bit margin and the button is a little bigger, right? Let's work on that. So in my iron list, let me call my iron row and give it a margin bottom of 5 VH. And again to my iron button, width of 30 VH and margin will be auto. Now you can see we have some margin up in here and the button size is a little bigger, such as this one, right? Great. So we have designed this part completely. Now let's work on the form validation part. So in order to work with the form validation, I have to do certain tasks. What are those tasks? First of all, I'll define a function called init form, and within this init form, I'll call my form property, which will be equals to new form group. And within my form group, what am I going to have? My email, which will be new form control, and initially it will be empty. Let's import it up first from our Angular forms. I'll simply type it up in here, and then I will have few validators. And what are those validators gonna do? It's going to check whether this is a required field. If yes, it needs to be filled up. And another validator I'm going to use up in here, that this is an email. If not, then it won't allow me to go ahead. So again, we have to import it from our Angular forms. Okay, this will be equal. And the next thing which I'll be doing is for the password, say form control. Initially it will be empty. And what are the validators I'm going to pass in out here? So it's very interesting. The first one will be validators dot required, and the second one will be validators dot min length, because I want the minimum length of the password to be of 8 characters at least. Fine. Now it is properly set up. Let me break it down for you guys. So our form is nicely set up. Now we need to call this within our constructor. I'll switch off my autosave for the time being because it is reloading again and again. Now everything is same as of now. Nothing changed in the design as of now. Now let's try to work on it. So I need to work on this and button because we want to see what happens when you're submitting the form. So in order to do that, I'll have a click event on my and button and we'll pass a function called on submit. Okay, let's declare it up on submit. And in here, the first thing which I'm going to check is this dot form dot valid for double checking it up. And if it is not valid, this not represents not valid, then I'll simply return. Otherwise, I will just simply console my form value. Let's see what happens now. So let me directly click on this login. And where will I see that? I already have this up in here. Console log opened up. Let me go to console. If I'm clicking on it, nothing is happening as of now. If I type something up in here, as you can see, if I try to click it, nothing is happening as of now because the form is not valid as of now. Now the form is valid. If I click on it, I have to save this up. Let me hit the autosave again. Now let's try our form. Let me type in technyks@gmail.com. Password is anything of 8 characters long, maybe. Okay, and hit enter. Let's see what is happening in our console. You can see the form value is showing up in here. Now let me try to pass some value which is not proper. Let me just pass only Technyks. So as you can see, the form is not getting submitted. Okay, because it is not valid and it is returning directly. Even if I do that, still not submitted, and let me pass gmail.com. Still the form is not submitted. Okay, so validation is working nicely, but I need to show the errors up in here so that we can fix it up by looking at the error. Now, after the iron item, I will have an iron text. Now, in this iron text, align it to the left side. Iron text left. Now within this iron text, the color will be danger, and this text will exist only at a certain condition because this is the error text which I am passing. So it will exist only if my form.get, if the form does not have a valid email. So in the condition I am going to write form.get email, and if it is not valid, and not valid dot valid and form.get email, because this is the form control name, so I can use it everywhere. Dot touched. So if it is touched, that means I have clicked on it, and the whatever I've written up in there or not written anything, then it will give me an error. Now, what is that error which I'm going to pass up here? I'll simply write, please enter proper email address. Now let's try it again. I've touched it up, and now I'm going to the password. Now you can see the error is popping up, right? Let's make it a little smaller. It's getting a bit bigger, right? So how am I going to align it up now? I will do everything within my p tag. So in the p tag, I'll call a class called error, and let me do it up in here. We work on this class now. So I'll pass a font size of 0.75 rem to this p tag. Okay, let's try it again. I've touched it, and I'm going to the password. Now it's great. The size is proper now. Okay, and I can see the error. Now let me try to add something. Technyks, and I have added few data, and now I'll click on password, or let me just type in the proper email. And if I'm going back, as you can see, now the error is gone. Now the error comes again. Okay, so it is checking the mail properly. Fine, this is great. Now let's work on the same thing with our password too. So I'll simply copy it up. Let me align it a bit to the right side. Now in here I'm going to paste it out. Now the only difference out here I'll have is it will be password. This will also be password, and in here I'll have another condition which is going to be ng if. Now in here I'm going to check if form.get password is invalid and form.get password.errors.required. If it is the required field, then what am I going to do? I'll change the text to please enter your password. Okay, let me copy it again, because I have two scenarios up in here. Not only required, but I also have if form is dirty. That means I'll tell you right now, just let me complete it up. Now if it is a required field, then if I'm not writing up anything in the password field, then this error will pop up. Otherwise, I'll have another error which will read password must be of at least 8 characters. Okay, let's check it out now. Let me type in technyks@gmail.com, no errors. And if I type in something and I click outside, then I'm getting this error. Password must be of at least 8 characters. And if I give 8 characters, then it's gone. And if I clear everything up, I'm getting 2 errors. Please enter your password. Password must be of at least 8 characters. I'm getting 2 errors, which are good. And if I type on something, 1 error is gone, and it must be of at least 8 characters. That's great. So our form validation is working nicely. And if I try to hit enter, let's see what happens. The form is not valid. And if I try to hit enter, as you can see, let me clear it up again and hit enter now. Nothing is popping up, right? And if I go for 8 characters, then I can see it is showing up. Okay, so out here the form validation is also done. So our login screen is successfully created. Now let's work on the sign up page, which is this design. Okay, so which is almost similar to this one with little modification. Let's quickly do that up. So I'll open another terminal, and let me create a page out there first. So I'll create a page within my home folder, and that will be sign up. Now it will be created within my home folder. Google Analytics, no, I'll hit no. So our page is created successfully, fine. But before moving to that page, I want to show you another thing, okay, which is very much important, and I didn't show you earlier, is that to our input for password, I will pass a type also, which will be password, okay, because I want the text of this password to be hidden. So if I type anything up in here, it will be hidden. Okay, now I can use this icon to change it up. How am I going to do that? Now to this icon, the name property, by default we work with a property called is type password, and this will be a boolean. Initially make it a true, because the type is password by default. Okay, so if that is true, that means is type password. We'll use the ternary operator. If it is true, then I'm going to use this icon. Otherwise I'll use low open outline. Let us see if the name of this outline is same or not, which I passed in here. So I'll go to my Ion icons. In here I'm going to search for lock. Now what is the name of it? Yeah, lock of an outline. So this is good. And out here I'll use the property in here also, and I'll make it an input property now. So out in here also I'll put a check using the ternary operator. If type password is true, then it is of type password, otherwise it will be of type text. Okay, now to this Ion icon I'm going to pass a click event, because whenever I click on it, then this will be triggered. So on change function will be called, and in here what am I simply going to do? On change I'm simply going to toggle this dot is type password will be equals to not of is type password. This means if the value of is type password is true, it will be turning into false, and if it is false, then it will turn into true. That's it. Everything is fine. Let's check out our output now. Let me try to enter something. Okay, and let me click on it. As you can see, the icon changed and the text is visible now. If I click on it again, the icon is closed and I cannot see it, right? Also, I can change the color of it dynamically. Let me do that also. It will look much nice. Then out here also I'll be using ternary operator. And what am I going to do up in here? If this type password is true, then I'll use this medium. Otherwise, I'll use the primary color. Okay, so again the change will be seen now. Okay, so this is the beauty of using the ternary operator. Let's go out here again, type something not visible, click on it, change color is changed, icon is changed, and the text is visible. Click on it again, changed again. Great, everything is working nice. Click on it, done, click. You can see nothing is popping up because not given anything up in here. Let me hit out in here and everything is working fine. Okay, so let me quickly copy everything up from here and jump into my sign up page, because the design is almost the same. Remove everything and paste it up. Once that is done, I have defined the classes for this design in my home.scss, homepage.scss. Now what am I going to do? For my circles, because I'm using the same thing, almost everything is same. So instead of defining anything up in here, I'll just cut everything from here. Or let me first work on the circle part. So circle and welcome message all are seen in both the pages. So I'll just remove it from here and paste it in my global.scss so that I can use it globally. Now let's see if everything is fine or seen. Well, an error is popping up in here because in the sign up module also we have to use the reactive form. Let me quickly do that. Form group, and let me define sign up form of type form group, and this sign up form I will be using up here. I think now the error is gone. I think we have few errors. This type password. Okay, let's copy everything from our HTML. Let me first do this up and then I can move ahead with the other stuff. Fine, copied everything. Let's go to the TypeScript. Ionic, I'll move it from here to the top of the constructor. Not of any use as of now. Okay, this is resolved. Two things I need to pass in here. Control. Okay, all the errors are gone now. Change form to sign up form. That's great, all the errors are gone now, and we can look at the login screen. Nothing is changed, okay, even after shifting most of the SCSS design from our home page SCSS to the global.scss file. Okay, and now what I need to do, let's go to our home page and redirect from there to our sign up page when I click on it. Okay, so let me do it. Now in order to do that, out in here what am I going to use? Router link, and in here I'm simply going to pass /login/signup because it is present within our home. It won't be login, it will be home, because the normal route that we have is the home, right, for our login. Okay, so this is the URL where I need to pass for the sign up. Let's see how it works. So let me click on this sign up and see what happens. Now when I clicked on this sign up, you can see I'm getting redirected to this sign up page. You can check the URL, it is sign up, right? That's good. Now we need to design this part up quickly. So this design is also the same part which we did out here for our Ion list. So what I can do is simply cut this part all of it from here and paste it in my global. But remember one thing, if you're pasting it up in here, I'm doing this only to make you understand. But if you're using it in a login screen and you have some other screens too except these two screens, then I would recommend not to use it up in here, okay? Otherwise it will have some impact on your other designs also. So I'll recommend not to use up in here. So instead of that, what you can do is you can pass it on both the pages if needed. Fine. So I'll keep it as it is. Okay, the circle was fine. Now I'll copy the same stuff up in here. Otherwise it will create problem for you guys when you are dealing with other designs. Okay, I'll simply paste it up in here and see what is the design coming up now. Okay, that's great. We are into the sign up page and everything looks nice. The design is proper now. So the design that we need to build is this one. Fine. So we have an email address, then the username, password, and then this one. And I don't have anything up in here, so I'll remove it up and change all the text. And out here also I have to change the text. Let's quickly do that up. Let's start up from here. So that won't take long. Sign up. Then what all things I need? I need another item. The icon name will be person outline and other things will remain same. Out here it will read, enter username, and the form control name it's gonna be name. Fine, or let's call it username. That will be more proper. Okay, so this is done. Now what am I going to have? The errors also. Now it will also be the same. Let me just copy it up, and after this item I'll pass it on, and let me change it to username. Please enter username. So everything looks good now. In order to get that done, I have to pass it in my init form also. Let me copy it up and paste it out here. Change it to username. Only the required field is needed up in here. I'll remove it and we are good to go. This is set up. Let's see the change in the output now. So we are into the home page as of now. Let's click on the sign up. And there we go. You can see the username is showing up. We have email address, password, and let's change the other stuff too quickly. Now within this part, I don't want to translate it to 20 VH my IAM list. I'll make it to 15 VH. That will be good. I don't want it to have more spacing out in here because this form is a little bigger, right? That's good, right? Getting reflected. Things are working very nicely up in here because we have almost crossed the most important hurdle. Now the things are pretty smooth up in here. Let's quickly jump to our iron row. Other things are all seen. In my iron row, I only need this column. Fine. And let me give it the size of 12 and remove this iron column. Change the text to I accept the policy and terms. Okay, and I don't need this p tag, and change this text to sign up. That's it. Now if I'm removing that up, I don't need few classes such as this sign up. Let's check out the design now. Sign up page has occurred. I can see the design, right? It has changed and this is also changed. Great. Almost the same, right? Now just one thing I need to do. I need to increase the margin right for my checkbox. Okay, and let's not work on the size of the checkbox, or let it be like that, no issues. Okay, I can see the margin, right? Looking very nice. Great. So everything is achieved nicely. Even out here also I can type the password and change it out. Fine. Great. If I don't give anything up in here, go in here, then I will see the error. Please enter username. Great. Everything is working fine. Only thing that is left is this back button. Let's work on that now. So in order to work with the back button, what I have to do in my signup.html, or in fact I need to change this thing also. Just let me do that and then work on the back button. This will be hello, and now after this I will be using an iron icon. Now within this iron icon I'll have the name of that icon to be arrow back outline. Let me give it the color to be white. We already have that, right? And what it's gonna do, it's gonna redirect me. So I'll give a router link. It will redirect me to the home page, right? That's what it's gonna do. Okay, let's align it properly first. Now you won't be able to see this icon at first because I've given the color to be white. So we need to align it properly. As you can see up in here, we need to align it up in here. So let's do that. So for doing that, I'll declare a class up in here. This is called back button, and let's work on it in our sign up CSS. Let's go down. Even this error also I can use it in my global. Let me quickly do that. Ahead. Because it is a class and it can be used anywhere you need. Okay, let's go back to our sign up.css, and out here what was the class name? Back button. I'll position it to absolute. Top will be 190 pixel will be fine, I suppose, because that was that part. Top will be 15 pixel, I suppose that will be good. Let's check it out first. This positioning you have to manage on your own. Nicely showing up in here, but pretty small, right? So the alignment is proper. You can work on your own system if design is not proper, but I'm sure it will show in the same way. Let me change the font size to say 2 rem will be bigger one, right? So let's check the design now, and it is properly showing up. Great. Let's see the design which we needed to build. As you can see up in here, everything looks the same, right? If I click on it, it is getting redirected to the login page, and out in here again the sign up page. Great, nicely working, fine. So the design is proper. Let's try to check it out. Let me open it up, the console, and let me try to enter some data. Technyks@gmail.com, and the password say 1234678, and accept the policy if you like. I'm not given any option to it. Hit enter and you can see the data, right? And if I do anything up in here, as you can see, it is popping up. I can check it out. Even changing this also provides error. Fine, great. And again I can see that okay, so it's working very nicely. One more thing I want to show you, when you can use it as a PWA also. So in order to use that so I'll change this to the responsive part, and you can see, as let me just shorten it up a bit, dog this part outside. Now you can see the responsiveness. As you can see this responsiveness, right? How it is shaping itself. Okay. Even you can try it in the any other phone. You can reload it up just to check whether everything is showing up nicely or not. Okay. You can check it on iPhone also, X. So it is working on all phones nicely. Fine. That's great. Let's check in smaller phone like iPhone 5, and let's reload it up, and you can see it is showing up in here also nicely. Fine. If you want this scrolling part to be removed, you can to simply stop the scrolling part, I'll simply copy the CSS to my login to my home.scss file, and also to my signup.scss file. Now once this is done, you can see that the scrolling is stopped and we are good to go. So we have successfully implemented our design. See you guys in the next video. Till then, subscribe to my channel, like it, and share with your friends so that we can bring up more beautiful login screens. Thank you very much.